A very good morning to all the respected judges. Today we are going to present a poster which is titled as Nanotechnology, Application and Advances. This technology was given by Richard Feynman in 1981. It is basically used for diagnosis, for curing of the disease and for repair of the damaged tissues. Like in hard tissues, craniofacial bone and alveolar bone regeneration, soft tissues like pulp and periodontal regeneration, cartilaginous tissues like TMJ and articular cartilage regeneration, like nerve tissue regenerations. This nanotechnology is composed of scaffolds, which is shown in the red particles, which are surrounded by the green nanomaterials. Now, what is scaffold? The scaffolds are three-dimensional structures in which cells grow, proliferate, and differentiate into various types of cells. Based on the shape, these are preformed and injectable. Based on the source, in natural, for example, collagen, chitosan; in synthetic, PGA and polylactides; ceramic like bioglass. Also, metallic and mineral scaffolds are there. This diagram, this figure shows the SEM picture of different surface modification of the macroporous hydroxyapatite bioceramic scaffolds. The first picture is of a macroporous, second is the nano sheet, third is the nanorod, and fourth one is the micro-nano hybrid. Now coming to nanomaterials. Nanoparticles are entities of any shape with the size ranging from the 1 to 100 nanometer. Nanomaterials serve as bridge between the macroscopic and microscopic structures. These are classified according to shape as 0 dimension, 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and 3 dimension. According to the source, in metallic, silver, chromium, iron, cobalt, antimony, etc. In ceramic, bioactive glass. Composite based chitosan and carbon based graphene oxide, for example, it is helped in the cartilaginous regeneration. Likewise, polymeric semiconductor and lipid based nanoparticles are there.
According to Langer and Mangetti, tissue engineering consists of three core principles as seen here: isolated cells, tissue inducing substances, and matrices. So what is the rationale for using nanoparticles? One, they have high surface volume ratio. Secondly, they're highly soluble. And thirdly, they exhibit quantum effect. Nanoparticles are synthesized by two main methods: bottom-up method and top-down method. Similarly, nanofiber scaffold can be synthesized by three main methods: electrospinning, self-assembly, and phase separation methods. In these figures, we can see that tri-layered nanocomposite with hydrogel scaffold in which three layers with embedded growth factors and cells for regeneration of cementum, pedal, and alveolar bone respectively. It can be used for vertical bony defects. Recently, a hybrid supermagnetic tri-layered scaffold with magnetic component was developed by Spiro et al. With the exception of cells suspended in hydrogel construct, seeds must be in spinner flask, rotating vessels, and perfused cartridges to obtain spatially uniform cellular distribution. Once the cells have been seeded, oxygen tension, etc., can be manipulated to control the cellular differentiation. Development of advanced injectable scaffold systems by incorporating bioactive molecules, VEGF and heparin, by cell-instructive scaffolds, and by self-assembled nanofibers.
So now coming on to the applications of nanomaterials, they have been used widely to serve the various functions in tissue engineering, like enhancement of biological, electrical, as well as mechanical properties of various kinds of bodily cells. In particular, two such nanomaterials, namely titanium oxide and gold nanoparticles, are used to enhance the cell proliferation rates of bone as well as periodontal ligaments. Nanoparticles which are embedded or incorporated with nanocomposite polymers have shown to exhibit better properties in tissue engineering when compared to nanoparticles without these reinforcements. Some nanoparticles, especially metal oxides, have shown to possess various antimicrobial effects as well as wound healing capabilities. Now coming on to the maxillofacial prosthodontics part. In maxillofacial prosthodontics, auricular as well as nasal cartilages can be fabricated using various nanoparticles. This picture depicts 3D printed bionic ears which were implanted in mice in an animal study. The second picture shows the process of 3D printing of nasal cartilage. The soft bioink along with the stiff bioink from both the syringes or the cartridges are loaded in the 3D bioprinter, and then dual printing is being carried out on a specific sensor to form the nasal cartilage over it. So now we have discussed various applications as well as advantages. Now coming on to the challenges, they are the carcinogenicity, teratogenicity, as well as the toxicity, which are both dose dependent as well as exposure dependent. So now to conclude our study or the poster, we can say that there is a requirement of various precautions by the dentist while using the nanoparticles wherever there is a possibility of chronic bioaccumulation inside the patient's body. Thank you.